What's up in War Eagle War Report family? It's your guy Ike Jones back for another Facts or Nah Friday, and it is hate week for Georgia. So we're doing this UGA edition and got to get straight into it, man. We're not going to prolong it too long, but y'all know how we do right here, War Report style. Just drop it on them.
You are now listening to the War Report. Drop.
It is the morning drop. It is Friday, October the 4th. Ike Jones, Dylan Lark from the College Loop in once again. He is now a Facts or Nah veteran in this thing, getting this into this Georgia week. And, you know, a lot of people not very optimistic about this game. I mean, how could you? I don't, before the season, people weren't very optimistic about this game. But as the season has progressed, I think the optimism has plummeted to all-time lows. However, we're still going to get in here. We're going to talk about this game, and we're going to tell you reasons why Auburn could do some good things, or it could just all be disastrous. I don't know. But Dylan, man, how you feeling today?
I'm feeling pretty good. I think this game's going to be closer than expected. I mean,
you know what? I agree.
You never want to play a top 5 team after a loss. But this game does strike a little close to me because my girlfriend is a Georgia fan.
Okay.
So, this determines the mood for the week.
I feel you
going
on
forward.
that. I feel you on that. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get over into these questions, Facts or Nah style, and we will kick it off. Something I don't know that I would have come into this season ever thinking that we would have to do a Facts or Nah question about and have reservations on the answer. But we're going to talk special teams and we're going to talk kicking. Auburn somehow missed 2 field goals in a game, both of them makeable by the abilities of the kicker. But we're going to go for this one. Facts or Nah, Auburn makes 2 or more field goals in this game versus Georgia. Dylan, what are you thinking?
I'm going to say facts. I'm going to give Towns the benefit of the doubt. I know he can make it. We've seen him make these kicks before. He got in his own head against Oklahoma. I think that's what happened. You miss the first one, and then the next time you're just like, all right, I can't miss it. So you miss it, just trying to overthink it. So I think that's what happened with Towns. He is very talented. And, of course, he wasn't supposed to be the kicker this year. He was supposed to wait until McPherson was gone. But, I think it's facts because the fact you have to make them in this game. You can't keep points off the board if you want a chance to upset Georgia.
Yeah, I'm going to put my faith in Towns and go facts on this one as well. Listen, true freshman kicker on the road in his first opportunity. I just think that he's going to come up in the big moment right here. He's a lifelong Auburn fan. He knows what this rivalry is all about. And if you're going to pull an upset, then everybody has to pull their weight. I think Towns handles business. He gets back in the right side of the ledger over here with his kicking duties this year. I'm going to go facts on this one. I'm putting faith in you, Towns. Pull it out for us, my guy. Let's make it happen. Facts.
So we talk about kicking, but we got to talk about the defense side of the ball for this one.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
The worst 2 performances Georgia has had offensively, they have been held to 102 and 80 rush yards, 80 coming from this past week in their loss to Alabama. So facts or nah, this Auburn front 7 can hold Trevor Etienne and Branson Robinson under 100 total rushing yards.
Whew. You know what? I'm going to say facts on this one, actually, just because this Auburn defense has done well against the run so far this season. When they've dialed it in on the run, they have done an amazing job of limiting. Listen, Arkansas's got one of the best rush defenses in the country, let alone the SEC. And they made it very difficult for Arkansas to move the ball on the ground. Now, if you're asking me how many pass yards Carson Beck puts up, it's a different story. However, I do think that Auburn is capable of going in here and really shutting down this Georgia rushing attack. This is a physical Auburn defense this year. I was talking with someone earlier this week about this, and I actually think this Auburn defense is more physical this year than they were last year, and I thought that defense was fairly physical last season. Yeah, give me facts on this. Under 100 rushing yards for Georgia in this game. I'll buy that.
Yeah, I'm about to go facts with it as well. You're finally getting an opportunity to play against an offense that doesn't have a dual threat quarterback. Carson Beck
True.
can run, but he doesn't
Yeah.
want to. He's not going to run it unless it's nothing's up and down the field. But honestly, Georgia probably doesn't even need to run the ball that much in this game to beat Auburn. Dominic Lovett and Dylan Bell. I'm blanking on one of the guy who led them in receiving yards versus Alabama. I think ultimately the front seven is the best part of this Auburn defense. I don't think that's an arguable statement in the slightest, but I think Auburn gets it done defensively and locks down the run game.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not mad at it. Like I said, I think that, we agree on this. The rush defense has been a strength of this team. I think it will continue to be a strength. All right. Let's see here. Which one do I want to go with next? Let's talk about that guy, Carson Beck. How about that? And more about this defense. Last game wasn't a great outing for him as far as holding on to the football. And this has been a thing for Auburn as far as the turnover ratio. Facts or no, Auburn is able to force at least 2 turnovers from Carson Beck in this game.
See, this one's tough for me because Carson Beck's only thrown an interception in one game, and he had 4 turnovers in that entire game as a whole.
Right.
But I think whenever you come down to the run game not working, you're going to pass the ball a lot more. So I'm going to go facts because I think you're going to be forcing more pass plays, which ultimately is going to give you more chances for those interceptions. And Auburn's has found a streak a little bit. I don't know if did they get any turnovers against Oklahoma? I might be blanking on that. So
no.
They had a streak, and I think it's time to get that streak back. So I think Auburn can get at least 2, whether or not that means they win the game or not. That's beyond me. But
yeah,
at least 2 arm punts going on.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with nah on this one. Carson Beck has been pretty good at taking care of the football. If you remove that Bama game from his ledger, you're gonna see a lot of games where he's done a good job of kicking. Now, he did have a couple of situations last year in Jordan-Hare, first road game for him, all that kind of stuff. But a little bit more mature quarterback this time, at home this time. I think he takes care of the football and gets back into that sort of thing. Now, he may turn the ball over. I just don't think he does it twice or more in this game. Hopefully, Auburn can force turnovers in another way, maybe force a fumble from somebody. That'd be lovely to have a game where Auburn actually wins the turnover battle. Beautiful thing, all right? But
wishful thinking.
Yeah, but we'll see what happens. I just don't know that Carson Beck's going to be – this is going to be a streak of turnover. He's not going to turn into an Auburn quarterback all of a sudden and just have a streak of games where he's had multiple turnovers. I don't think that that's going to happen on this one. All right. Well, let's get into the break really quickly. I had brain fart about where we were supposed to go next. We want to give a quick shout out to the folks that make stuff like this possible, and those are the sponsors of the War Report today. That is Manscaped. This is brought to you by Manscaped, the global leader in men's lifestyle and grooming. Every man knows the unbeatable feeling of a fresh barbershop shave. Now, what if I told you you no longer have to wait weeks or even months between appointments to experience it? I don't know who's having to wait months between going to the barbershop unless it's on purpose. But hey, listen, you can have it right there at home. Introducing Manscaped's newest innovation, the Chairman Pro Electric Foil Shaver, the game-changing tool that brings the luxury of a professional shave right into your home. Whether you're after that daily, silky smooth finish or prefer to maintain a rugged 5 o'clock shadow, the Chairman's Pro Electric Foil Shaver is for you for precision style every time. Head over to manscaped.com and join over 11 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped by using code REPORT for 20% off plus free shipping. That's 20% off plus free shipping at manscaped.com. And we definitely appreciate it. Tell them the guys at the War Report sent you over there by using that code. And we'll forever be grateful for your support of the people who support the War Report. But let's get back over into Facts or Nah from 2 guys who know nothing about being clean shaven. But we'll continue our conversation about Auburn versus Georgia. Dylan, what do we got next up?
I will say sources have said that Carson Beck does use the same razor for everything. So all the more reason to not be a Carson Beck. All right, so going back to the run game for a little bit.
Okay.
Jarquez Hunter has had 3 games this year where he's had 10 or more carries on the year. 4 games, sorry. He's gone 4, 12, 20, 12, and 17 carries going from week 1 to week 5. Facts or nah, Auburn fans can expect to see 17 carries for Jarquez.
Yeah, listen. After what happened last week, this one better be facts. You better get the ball to Jarquez Hunter. 17 carries. I feel like if he had gotten 20, Auburn wins this game against Oklahoma.
If you got 18,
yeah. In the right scenarios, 18. But I'm counting the fourth, the goal line situation. You give him a couple more totes there, and then of course on the infamous pick 6, if you turn around and hand the ball off to him there, 20 carries, and I think you walk out of there with a dub. So I think they're going to major on the run game in this one and try to really limit the number of times that they're putting the ball in harm's way as far as interceptions are concerned in this one. So give me facts on this one. Jarquez Hunter plus 17 plus carries in this game.
It's crazy how many of those plays I look back at and they're like Vietnam flashbacks coming up.
Yeah.
Just the Sam Jackson running the ball, this happening. But I think if Auburn wants to win, it has to be facts as well. You have to give your best ball carrier the ball at any given time. I've said it before, the best Auburn performance we've seen thus far, even though it was against a bad defense, Jarquez had 20 carries, Damari had 10. 30 carries combined for Auburn's workhorse running backs. Give them the ball. It's how the offense works. You can't. Well, Auburn is not a air raid attack quite yet. So until we are, let's run the ball.
Okay. All right. Well, speaking of air raid attacks, though, not quite air raid, but Peyton Thorne's done well this season. Let's we can turnovers aside. I get it. You can't just erase those, but he's done well. But is he going to be able to step up to the task in this game? Facts or nah, Peyton Thorne passes for over 300 yards versus Georgia in this game.
So looking at the stats, Peyton Thorne has 338 last game, 213 versus Arkansas, 165 versus Cal, which another Vietnam flashback game, and 322 versus Alabama A&M. Looking back at Milroe was able to get 300 yards against this Georgia defense, solely coming from Ryan Williams. Right. Now, with Cam Coleman and Keandre Lambert-Smith, I want to give Peyton Thorne the benefit of the doubt with this one. I'm going to say facts.
Okay.
I think you're going to pass the ball a lot. Georgia's defense isn't the Georgia defense of old, meaning 2 years ago or last year, at that matter. Auburn's going to try to attack the secondary. And whether or not it leads to interceptions, who's to say that Auburn can go a game without throwing a pick? I think you're going to be relying a lot on KLS and Cam Coleman, Malcolm Simmons, and all these guys. And, even if he has another 4 interception game, I think they're still going to try to pass this ball down the field. That's the only, you got to move the ball if you want to beat Georgia.
Yeah, not mad at it. I'm not going to agree. I'm going to go nah on this. However, I do think that over 250 is necessary. I don't think that you can have a sub 250 passing performance in this game and walk out of Athens with a win. So if you're setting your sights on winning, because I think that the game plan is going to be run heavy, you've already mentioned at least 20 touches for Jarquez, maybe another 10 to 15 for Damari, getting Cobb involved in the game, right? That's already over, I would say 35, 40, if you're not even counting maybe like Peyton Thorne runs and little reverses that they might try to put in there, or God forbid they try Sam Jackson again at a Wildcat, right? Like, we're not counting any of that stuff. So you're already touching maybe 40 times that you're not going to pass the ball. And the question you have to start to ask yourself is, how many passing attempts are you even going to get in this game? Even with explosive plays that may happen out there, Peyton Thorne may not throw the ball but 24, 25 times in this game. And is he going to get 300 yards in those attempts? That's going to mean he's going to have a very high completion percentage, which, if statistical data becomes a fact in this one. He's going to complete 60-something% of those. I don't know that he can get to 300 in that low amount of attempts that would be necessary to do that. If you're really playing true ball control, I'm going to go nah on this one. I don't know that he's going to get the volume to. And if he gets to that number, then that means Auburn is definitely coming from behind and having to throw a bunch in this game. And that is not the scenario anybody wants if you're an Auburn fan.
It's not a scenario anybody wants, but it might be a scenario we all have to watch.
Hey, listen, hopefully not, but we'll see.
Yeah, fingers crossed. I've always said that I wish Auburn would win the game. That's just what I hope and pray. I have not seen Auburn win a game in Athens since I was 5 years old.
It's been a while.
2005.
It's been a while.
Yeah, so, speaking of the passing game, Auburn has had 3 different receiving yards leaders in this season alone. You had Malcolm Simmons in week 1. Then you had Cam Coleman in week 2. Keandre Lambert-Smith for week 3 and week 4. And then Cam Coleman actually led Auburn against Oklahoma last week. So we already know KLS is on pace for 1,000 receiving yards. Fingers crossed he can get to that, despite whatever the record may be. But facts or not, does a receiver other than Keandre Lambert-Smith lead Auburn in receiving yards this week?
I am going to go nah on this one. I'm going to take KLS versus the field here. I think when you're in a game like this, you need your veteran big play guy to step up and be a veteran big play guy. Listen, Keandre Lambert-Smith is a pro. He's a pro wide receiver. And this is the game where you need your pro wide receiver to step up and make a play for you. I don't know that Peyton Thorne's going to throw the ball a bunch, but he needs to be looking towards 5 when he does it. So I'm going to say he's going to be the leader in this one, in every receiving, whether it's targets, receptions, yards. It needs to be Lambert-Smith. They need to figure it out this week. How are we going to get the ball to him in good scenarios where he can and do what he does? So yeah, give me Lambert-Smith as the leader. I'm going to say nah. He's going to be the guy.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go nah with this one as well. I think with Georgia, the best defense you've played all year, your first 2 reads have to be 5, and it has to be 13. Valdo is gonna have to be utilized in this game because this Georgia linebacker core, their edge rushers are really good. Their linebacker core is not what it was a couple years ago. You can attack the middle of the field against Georgia this year, and you're going to have to. I love Cam Coleman. I think he's going to be an all-time great. The stop and go right now is not going to work with the Georgia defense.
Right.
So I think you got to trust the guy who can stay in the moment with Keandre Lambert-Smith, and I think he's going to get I would probably put it down, and he's going to get another 100-yard game.
Yeah, I'd love to see
double down on that.
I would love to see another 100-yard game from Lambert-Smith in this one. I think Auburn's going to need that kind of performance from him to be able to figure out how to get this victory. All right, that is it for another great edition of Facts or Nah. We want to hear your thoughts down in the comment section. What do you feel about each of these questions? How you feel, how do you feel Auburn's going to fare in this game? I don't really want to see a lot of score predictions in this one, but just definitely give us your thoughts. As always, the morning drop is brought to you by the good folks over at the Rogue Shop. Make sure you head over to rogueshop.com and use code REPORT when you do this. America's #1 online dispensary. It's the Rogue Shop. Sleep, stress, pain, anxiety relief, all there for you at the Rogue Shop. Before we get out of here, Dylan Lark, tell the people ways that they can keep up with what you've got going on with the College Loop.
Of course, you can just follow me on Twitter at @YourBoyTheTank. Go check me out over there. Also follow me on the College Loop on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all that jazz. Go check us out. Last episode we put up was the pregame show, previewing this game, the Deep South Oldest Rivalry. I believe the 129th edition of the Deep South Oldest Rivalry. And of course, talking about how Auburn was able to flip Deuce Knight away from Notre Dame.
Wonderful stuff right there. All right, before you all get out of here, make sure that you like this video, subscribe to the channel, follow us on social media. We're at the War Report, TW Report on TikTok. Until the next time, and as always, War Eagle.
War Eagle.